Attention, history lovers and the curious about the past. Welcome once again to another intriguing chapter of Time Tale Theater. Get ready to delve into the life and legacy of a man whose courage averted the unthinkable nuclear holocaust. The Cuban Missile Crisis of October 1962 came dangerously close to unleashing a catastrophic nuclear war between the United States and the Soviet Union, at the height of Cold War tensions. Amid this perilous juncture, a relatively unknown Soviet naval officer, Vasili Arkhipov, made a momentous decision that prevented an unimaginable nuclear disaster. The context was one of immense tension between the two superpowers after American spy planes discovered a secret installation of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, virtually on the doorstep of the United States. This provocative action led President Kennedy to impose a strict naval blockade around the island to prevent further arms shipments. In this explosive scenario, a Soviet submarine, the B-59, commanded by Valentin Savitsky, was intercepted by American destroyers while stealthily en route to Cuba with a naval contingent. Without warning, the American ships began dropping depth charges on the B-59 to force it to surface and identify itself. What the Americans didn't know was that the submarine was carrying a dangerous nuclear torpedo. Inside the crowded Soviet submarine, the situation turned chaotic. Isolated without communication to Moscow due to the depth, subjected to the constant thunder of depth charge explosions, and with temperatures exceeding 113 degrees Fahrenheit 45 degrees Celsius due to a malfunctioning cooling system, the crew's nerves were on edge. In this atmosphere of extreme stress, Savitsky came to believe, erroneously, that World War III had already begun. Consequently, the exhausted commander decided to prepare the nuclear torpedo and attack the American ships in retaliation for what he perceived as a genuine bombardment. Soviet protocol demanded unanimous authorization from all three senior officers on board to use tactical nuclear weapons. Savitsky and the political commissar gave their approval for the launch. But before the deadly torpedo could be fired, Arkhipov vehemently opposed it, arguing that they were not under a real attack, just being asked to identify themselves. Thanks to his extraordinary composure and steadfastness under unimaginable pressure, Arkhipov ultimately convinced the agitated Savitsky to abort the imminent nuclear launch. After a heated and tense discussion, reason prevailed. The submarine surfaced, surrounded by American ships, and returned to Russia. At that moment, no one knew just how perilously close humanity had come to total nuclear annihilation. Arkhipov's timely and courageous intervention prevented the utterly unthinkable, a likely American nuclear retaliation that could have rapidly triggered a massive exchange of thermonuclear warheads between the two superpowers, unleashing the feared Third World War, resulting in the deaths of tens or hundreds of millions of people. Vasili Arkhipov went unrecognized at the time, given the utmost secrecy of the grave incident. His story remained classified until 2002, when the incredible and crucial extent of his contribution to averting nuclear catastrophe during the Cuban crisis became known. Arkhipov's composed temperament and character changed the course of history at its most critical and desperate moment, when all seemed irretrievably lost. While other officers succumbed to panic and paranoia under enormous pressure, he displayed remarkable wisdom and calm, preventing what appeared to be an inevitable and inconceivable disaster. Today, Arkhipov is rightfully regarded as a hero who, from the shadows, prevented nuclear holocaust during the most dangerous and volatile period of the Cold War. He embodies the best of the human spirit, the capacity to change destiny even in the most extreme circumstances, on the brink of the abyss. His legacy will endure as a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, there is always the possibility of stepping back from the nuclear precipice, thanks to the courage and wisdom of exceptional individuals like Arkhipov. The Cuban Missile Crisis confronts us with the terrifying nuclear precipice that humanity can reach due to the existence of atomic weapons. But Vasili Arkhipov's inspiring story also reminds us that there is always hope, that even when all seems entirely lost, One person guided by wisdom and composure can make a difference and prevent the seemingly unimaginable. Arkhipov represents the best of humanity and the extraordinary ability of an individual to change the course of history even in the darkest moment. His name should be remembered eternally as a symbol of prudence, equanimity, and deep humanity. If you've enjoyed this video, your support by subscribing, liking, and sharing it with those interested in this event would be greatly appreciated. In a time when the world still faces dangerous nuclear tensions, Arkhipav's inspiring story reminds us that it's always possible to step back from the abyss when sensible individuals prioritize life and peace over the madness of mass destruction. His legacy is a ray of hope that illuminates the best side of humanity, our ability to avert even the worst crises if wisdom, restraint, and the valor of individuals like Arkhipov prevail, willing to do what's right against all odds. He represents the indestructible spirit of possibility when all seems lost. His heroic act during the Cuban Missile Crisis should forever remind us that even in the most perilous and desperate moments, there is always the possibility of stepping back from the nuclear abyss if exceptional individuals like Vasili Arkhipov are willing to prioritize the common good over the worst instincts of mass destruction. In the dark chapter of the Cuban Missile Crisis, Vasili Arkhipov emerged as a hero in the shadows, whose composure and courage prevented the rush into a catastrophic nuclear war. Amid overwhelming tension and desperate decisions, Arkhipov showed that even in the darkest moments, an individual committed to reason and peace can alter the course of history. His legacy transcends time and reminds us that humanity always has the capacity to choose wisdom over destruction. We hope this dive into recent history has been a fascinating and enlightening experience for all of you. If you wish to continue exploring the mysteries and intrigues of other historical moments, we encourage you to stay connected with our channel and subscribe to not miss future episodes. Here's a video about a little-known story: a Nazi agent who betrayed his country to become a secret spy for the Soviet Union. We sincerely appreciate your company on this journey and remind you that through understanding and reflection, we can forge a future in which humanity chooses the path of truth and wisdom over darkness and secrecy.